Hello and welcome back. My name is Syncogen. This is part 5 of getting a custom mesh into Fallout 4. Alright, so we just finished off setting up the file tree structure inside of the creation kit. So now what we need to do is to save our ESP. This is the ESP is going to be called for your mod. This is the mod name. So go File, Save, name your file whatever you want it to be. So I already have a tutorial sword ESP because I forgot to delete it. So I'm just going to name this sword taught. Save. Alright, so now this is saved. So now what we want to do is we want to close this. Now there might be a better way of doing this. I'm not sure, but I've tried it other ways and I can't seem to get it to work inside of the creation kit. So I have to use Fallout 4 Edit. Now, if you all know how to do a way to do this, that's great. You can do it your way, but this is the way I do it. So I need to find my tools folder, which I seem to have closed. Go to Fallout 4 Edit. Open this up, and any mods that you currently have active are going to automatically be checked. So just uncheck, or you can have load everything up if you want to. I think this is easier for me anyway to find. So I don't have to deal with everything when I open it up. Okay. Now you're going to get these little things, ESM, EX, and then your actual whatever it is that you named your ESP. So you're going to decollapse your object modification. These are the mods that we have currently assigned to our sword. And this is the weapon itself. Now it has the Chinese tutorial sword and the tutorial sword. Remember how I made this one by accident before? So don't worry about that one. You can delete that if you want to. It doesn't matter. Alright. So now when you put a weapon into the game, remember how we just made the handle? Now the handle is currently saying that whenever the handle loads into the game, it's going to say automatically attach this to it. So whenever the weapon's in the game, this is telling it that this requires whatever this is. So right now, if you open this up in the creation kit, it's going to show, or if you open this up in game without changing this, this is going to assign the Chinese officer sword blade and not our blade to it. Well, technically it'll assign the officer blade and our blade. It'll have two blades on it, which we don't want. So what we're going to do, just hit yes. You're going to change this to whatever this number is right here. The no upgrade, so 01 000 F9D. Enter. So now our weapon will automatically have this assigned to it. And we're going to need to do the same thing down here as well. So 01 F9D. Enter. Do the same thing for here. Actually, this mod call is for leveling. It tells the game that as you level up at certain levels, different attachments will be available. So if you found a Chinese officer sword in the game at some point, so if you're level 10, it says like, hey, at level 10 plus, start assigning this mod if you find it. But I'm not exactly sure how to do that because I don't actually mess around with that stuff. So if you know how to do that, great. And if you don't, then ask somebody. But I think it's pretty straightforward. And just keep going down until you see that you have no more things to change. Make sure that none of these say Chinese officer sword. We don't want those. Those are bad. So 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, F, 9, D. So now if you want your sword to start off with a specific mod other than the null blade, so you could actually pick the serration blade, and when you start the game off, and whenever you put the sword in game, it'll start off with whatever mod that you put in these little sections. So I think I'm good. Sword, Chinese tutorial sword. Alright, I think I'm good. Alright, so just hit Control S. I'll ask you to save it, hit yes. Done. Close this out. Minimize that, minimize this. Reopen the creation kit. Now when you reopen up a file that you're currently working on, you want to make sure that you set the plugin that you're currently working on to active. So always load the master file for Fallout 4. Find your current file that we just made, so sword taunt. After you hit the X, hit set as active file. What this does is it saves it as a standalone file and not a plugin. So if you were to not set this as an active file but as a plugin and you load it, when you go to save it, it'll ask you to save it as a new ESP. And if you save it as a new ESP, it'll require this mod to work. So if I save this as Sword Taunt 1, in order to use Sword Taunt 1, you have to have Sword Taunt.esp. So just make sure you set it as an active file. Hit OK, and then the waiting game of waiting for this to load. Yay. Alright, so got this Chinese. Actually, let's go ahead and clean that out. I don't need that, so just delete this. Yes. Alright, so now it's deleted. Alright, so I'm going to go in here, open this up, make sure this works correctly. So now as you can see, my handle is not fully fitted to the blade. This might happen to you as well. So to fix this, what we're going to do is open it up a weapon inside of the NIF again. So, okay. Open up a new one. File. Open. Now this will open up whatever was the last thing you saved as. So the last thing I saved was the handle, so it goes right to the folder directory. If the last thing you saved wasn't what we just worked on, so just navigate to whatever it is that you need to find. So in my case it's the blade. Now we want to move the blade down and not the handle, because if we move the handle down, the guy or your character is going to grip it in the wrong spot. We don't want that, so we'll just move this down 3. See how that works. So just right click, transform, edit, and this button moves it down. So 1, 2, 3, accept. Make sure you move the blood blade down as well. So transform, edit, 1, 2, 3. Accept. File. Save. Minimize this to see how this works. So now I'll reopen the tutorial sword. And as you can see, we are a little bit closer. We can go one more down. So hit OK. Do the same thing. Open this back up. Transform. Edit. Go down one. OK. Block. Sorry, transform, edit, and one more down. Hit OK. Minimize this. Let's check it. Oh, apparently I need to go down another one. Okay. I'm gonna do this stupid thing. Here it is. Alright, so blade, transform, edit, -5. Let's make it -6 actually. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I know why. I didn't save it. I'm dumb. Edit. Let's make that 4. There we go. Now it should be down further. There we go. Now you can keep messing with this until you get it in the spot you need it to be, but I'm not going to keep messing with it. You get the idea. And oh, one more thing I gotta check. Make sure that the object template is now set up to ours. Chinese Officer Sword Blade tutorial. Yep. Here we go. This is what it'll look like in game. So there we go. Looks good. File. Save. Oh, now make sure the boxes are closed before you save it. File, save. Alright, so now we're going to open up our Nexus Mod Manager, or however it is that you activate your mods. Mine's Nexus Mod Manager. So go down to your mod, make sure it's turned on. Oh, I forgot one other step. We want to place it in the world. That's kind of important. Or actually, you don't really need to place it in the world, you can just call it, but I'm going to place it in the world. So we go to Interiors, Nacelle View, go to Commonwealth, wait for this list to load. Click in the box, type S for Sanctuary, go down to Sanctuary 2, or the Sanctuary Exit 2, double click on it, and I'll load it in this map here in a second. There we go. This is our sanctuary, or my sanctuary. We'll restart the game. So when you first open this up, just hit the shift key, and then when you move your mouse, it'll move the camera. So when you first start here, you start looking at the ground. If you look up here, this is the starting player's house. So just scroll in with the mouse wheel. Click down on the mouse wheel to move the camera. Now if you click on something in the scene, which for some reason won't let me do, just let me click on this counter. There it goes. If you click on something in the scene, when you hit a little shift key, you'll rotate around that object in the scene. Alright, so now what we're going to go do is pick our sword from the list, click on it, click and hold, and then drag, then let go. It drops it into the scene. So now we're going to click on the sword until it's highlighted, which for some reason it's not wanting to highlight. There it is. Now it's highlighted. W key will allow you to rotate the object. So you get one of these little wheels and you can rotate it. The E key will allow you to pick it up and move it around. So move it to where you want it. If you hold down the F key, it drops it to the ground of whatever surface it's on top of. And yeah, keep hitting the F key until it actually falls. Alright, so now it's in the scene. So now we can save it. Minimize this. Make sure that the thing's still turned on, which it is. Go Fallout 4, load the game.